My philosophical analysis paper is on Horace Mann and the Common School movement. In the mid-19th century, there was not a structural format for education other than local communities creating a schoolhouse and hiring a temporary teacher. Mann recognized that to build a successful, hardworking country, there needed to be an educational organization to govern and unify its citizens. For the last 150 years, it seems to have been flourishing, but in the 21st century, there's been an attempt to invalidate this structure. Is the belief in the common school system at risk today? Mann was born in 1796 in the town of Franklin, Massachusetts, to a farming family. His education was a one-room schoolhouse where the town paid $100 a month for the building and a temporary teacher. He then went on to Brown University, where he graduated as valedictorian. From there, he became a lawyer and eventually entered politics in the Whig Party. He became a state senator and argued for the benefits of tax revenues for internal state improvements. Eventually, he was the first Secretary of State of the Board of Education in Massachusetts. From there, he started the concept of the common school system. The American schools, up until the middle of the 19th centuries, were modeled after the British. In England, schools were operated much like universities today. If a person could pay for their children to attend, they did. If not, the children were forced to join the uneducated at menial factory jobs. There was some money aside set for the poor, but the majority could not afford an education. Mann and other economic philosophers of the period recognized that a strong country needed an educated citizenship. They realized that in areas of the country that were poor, crime was high. Conversely, the educated did not have the same issue. There was the beginning of a strong class system at play, just like in England. An education for all would minimize that. His concept rested on the ideal that the best society was one in which people governed themselves through elected officials. A proper civic education would teach basic principles of government, science, and citizenship. An area where Europe failed in that, though, was scholarly diseases. Educated men tended to develop spinal curvatures, were always complaining of indigestion, and became weak and frail with years of sitting for long hours in cold, damp rooms. Unlike many educational philosophers, Mann lived to see the fruition of his plan. He noticed three problems. Many schools in the state were dilapidated, the district communities did little to improve instruction, and the hiring of inadequately prepared teachers led to a lower quality of instruction. Mann believed that public education would lead to a national economic development and civic order. The first thing he defined and explained the purpose of common schools that appealed to the masses. Then he persuaded conflicting groups that it was in their best interest, and lastly he mobilized these groups to campaign and support legislation and taxation. These factors led to establishing normal schools, which were specifically designed to train teachers. At the time, the establishment of the common school movement, there was not a great deal of diversity. America was predominantly Protestant, and the people were from northern and central European countries. There were some Irish and German Catholics, but for the most part, the seeds of Puritans and concepts of the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant was the focus. The greatest disparity was the difference between rural and urban communities, so the need for all children to be exposed to the same scientific and classical studies, including moral and ethical principles, were important. Transcendentalism and reform were on the rise. It was an American philosophy that human progress would occur as individuals mirrored higher spiritual and moral principles. Fife reviewed Mann's contributions with a contemporary perspective. For the past few years, the concept of education vouchers, homeschooling, and charter schools have been given a great amount of attention. On one hand, they seem to be the next logical step when parents want a better education. However, it does contradict Mann's basic premise, that of a republic with a common school system for all. Mann's concept of the common school has been a defining achievement in developing a unified, industrious country. It's been instrumental in developing a one-language, common belief system and guiding principle of hard work, fair play, and honesty. However, there's a new obstacle. The first charter schools appeared in 1991 and have grown. There have been some achievements when compared to academic scores. However, the studies in this stage have found that there's not a magic bullet for the U.S. public school system. Some studies have also shown that disadvantaged youth have the greatest potential, but there's not been any consistent impact. Homeschooling is infrequent, but poses its own issue with the lack of social involvement. If these other forms become predominant, it could lead to a breakdown of a common belief system. A Christian worldview is not about the individual succeeding, but mankind as a whole. We need to remember the impact that each one of us has on overall health of mankind. Horseman understood that, and his belief in the common public school still remained strong.